Welcome back to the Gavel. Now, there is a huge nutrition crisis in the country. 2.5 million children face acute malnutrition and 12 million children are stunted because of poor nutrition. The Senate Committee on Health has held several meetings with civil society organizations to look at ways of addressing the nutrition crisis in the country. We had an interview with the chairman, Senate Committee on Health, Senator Olanrewaju Tediosho, to find out what has come out of these engagements.
Well, we've been doing our oversight function in the last 8 weeks, going around a few of the institutions. And from reports given to us, the release maybe average of 40% in December. And I believe, well, we have maybe 3 more months to go because I believe the March date for the accounting year to be over. So we are hopeful that at least we'll have more releases done in the next 3 months.
Now, we're going back to the issue of the 1% in the National Health Act that should be put from the consolidated federation account that should be put into the Basic Health Fund. In 2016, did we see this happen in the 2016 budget?
It never happened. So that's why we are saying now that particular law is 2 years old. It was signed into law October 31, 2014 by former President Jonathan. And now we have passed the 2 years mark. So we are saying this is our own National Assembly law. And in the wisdom of my predecessors and the members of the Assembly before now, they thought that that minimum is what we need to encourage our developmental partners to also contribute to that fund so that we could use it for national health insurance, for primary health care, and other, health requirements. So we believe at least that should be the minimum we should focus on in achieving in the health sector to start with.
Now, if we see this happening again in the 2017 budget, that this 1% is not appropriated for, for what it was supposed to be it for, what would your committee do?
Well, I've had a series of discussions with the Honorable Minister of Health over the past few months, and we have kind of, agreed in principle that the budget for 2017 must respect that particular law. So I'm still waiting to receive the actual budget proposal to know whether that was fulfilled. But we will not be happy with the budget if that is not honored.
Now, to go away from, the issue of budgeting process, now we know that there's been a big nutrition crisis in Nigeria. Now, from available statistics, over 2.5 million children have acute malnutrition and 12 million children have stunted, or poor nutrition. What is the Senate Committee on Health doing to address this?
Well, about 2 weeks ago, we had a policy dialogue, specifically on nutrition, because the mistake we made last year, Nigeria kind of surrendered to UNICEF. UNICEF took care of all our acute malnutrition in 2016. Because we have, according to statistics, about 2.5 million children that are acutely malnourished. Out of these 2.5 million, UNICEF funded nutrition for 400,000 in 2016. In 2017, they're proposing to increase it to 600,000. That means we have 1.9 million children that we don't know how they will survive in 2017. So we are saying at least 1.9 million children that are severely malnourished, that are at the risk of dying in 2017. We must provide the therapy for them to survive. So to feed one malnourished child, acutely malnourished child, you need about 50,000 naira per child for 1 year.
For 1 year.
Yes. So we're now saying minimum needed for nutrition is 50,000 times 1.9 million to take care of the diagnosed acutely malnourished children. UNICEF has helped us with 600,000 of them. So we are now relying on government to take care of the additional 1.9 million children. So that's the exact situation.
Now, are you having engagements? Because one would expect that before a budget proposal is brought to the National Assembly, when you're aware of these issues, to have engagements with the minister to factor this in the budget proposal. Has your committee had engagements with government on factoring this issue of malnutrition in the 2017 budget? This costs.
Well, of course, we've been having a series of dialogue with the ministry and the legislature. I mean, these are all facts that we are all aware of. So I don't think we need to hammer on that to know that this is an emergency that must be attended to in 2017.
Now, still on the issue of malnutrition, have you factored in, or the committee factored in, the displaced children? Because we also have a bigger problem in our hands of displaced children in IDP camps who also suffer from malnutrition. Are these children captured in this figure of 2.5 million?
Yeah, definitely in the IDP camps, from statistics, we have maybe about 30 children dying daily. 30. So 30 daily out of 1,500 all over the country. So the IDP camp is being attended to because this is a specific kind of problem in an enclosed location. So it's better managed. So we have a series of intervention funds coming from everywhere. The developmental partners, other countries, because there's so much noise about the camps. So in the camp, I believe we are getting good management for these children because of the noise concerning the ITP. If we had all these children in Nigeria under one location and there's equal noise, I'm sure we will have solution.
So how would your committee oversight to make sure that these children who are scattered in various locations, 2.5 million of them, are reached?
Well, reaching them really is not the problem. We have to reach them with something. So, first of all, where is the replacement therapy to reach them with? So, we first of all must have the provision of this nutrient to give to them. Because you can't just say you are giving them yam or cassava. There are special, specific products to revive an acutely malnourished child, which is the replacement therapy we are talking about. So this must be provided for, mostly imported. And
I'm still worried, about still coming down to the budgeting issue, because we know that this year in 2016, we learned that $6,000 was appropriated for nutrition in the 2016 budget. Right. How did that happen?
Well, first of all, I think we are all to take the blame, including the Ministry of Health, the legislature, for us to have allowed that to pass. But of course, you can remember that was our first legislative year. That was our first budget. We had very little time to prepare that budget proposal. The ministers too, they came in just maybe 4 weeks before the budget. So really, they just took over a budget that was prepared by the civil servants. And of course, we didn't have enough time to go around to do the oversight, to be specific on every aspect of health. Remember, there are other problems. It's not only nutrition. We have poliomyelitis. Polio was properly budgeted for. We had about 9 billion budgeted for polio, compared to just 2.4 million naira only for nutrition. When I realized this, later on, I had to ask the director in charge of nutrition that, what was your intention? What do you want to do with 2.4 million naira? Because 2.4 million naira can feed maybe 40 malnourished children only out of 2.5 million. So what was your intention for putting this 2.4 million? And I said they wanted to do it for training. I said, training on? Training who? Training the malnourished children or what? So the ministry before now had completely surrendered to UNICEF. UNICEF was the one taking care of the malnourished children in Nigeria from that budget. So we are saying this time around, we've had enough time, we've had enough information. At that time, the noise about IDP camps was not that much. So for us to know the gravity of the problem. Now we know. So we must be more proactive now.
Now this is where we draw the curtains on this week's edition of the Gavel. If you have any views on any of the issues discussed, please email us on the Gavel at channelstv.com. Thanks for staying with us. Merry Christmas and do have a fabulous holiday.